Molly from Saving Grace, and this video is to go over paperwork for adoption for our folks who are coming to adopt. Often our pickup time can be really busy for us, and it's also a really exciting time for our adopters. So there's indeed so much information to pick up on and learn and go over that it can be overwhelming. So we want to give this as an option for you to be able to look at before you come or after you go home if there's questions, and also on really busy days to give us a chance to get you in and out a little faster. So when you adopt, you're going to pick out your dog. This is Andy. She's going to be our demo dog for us today. You say hello. So you're going to adopt, and you're going to get a packet that's going to look like this. This is your adoption packet, and you are going to want to take this and your new dog to a veterinarian within 72 hours. We encourage everybody to do that. A lot of our dogs are coming from areas throughout North Carolina, South Carolina, where they have been probably never had any sort of vet care whatsoever. So they've been in areas where they have not necessarily been cared for before. They've been in a shelter most of the time before they get to Saving Grace, so they've been exposed to a lot of animals. And then also at Saving Grace, we have a lot of dogs coming in and out too. So it's always best just to stay on top of everything, and if there's any complications from surgery or anything like that, which is rare, but it happens. So we just want to give our adopters an expectation, a realistic expectation of what they need to be prepared for after adopting. So you're going to want to take your packet here. This is going to have all the information that your dog has had as far as vet care, any sort of microchips, all of those tags and certificates that you're going to need. So you're going to take this and your dog again with your dog, this packet, and your dog to your vet within 72 hours. We have a lot of great vets in our area, and we can always give you a reference if you would like one. So in your packet, you're going to find a med sheet. This is the med sheet, and on here there is a long list of things. Some med sheets are a lot simpler than others. So Andy here has been with us a couple of months. A lot of dogs come in and out a lot quicker than that, but she had some issues, so medical issues that took a little longer. So her sheet is a little longer. It has the age up here. This is a guess. A lot of times these dogs we don't know about, so especially if they're an adult, we are making the best guess we can along with the vet that saw them for their wellness check or their surgery. So we put that there, and the description of what it is. A lot of times we don't know what it is. As you can tell, Andy here, who knows? We don't know exactly what her mom and dad was, but she's a really great little dog, little generic brown dog. Yours might be too, or we might know exactly what it is. So anyway, we hope you've picked them out just for their personality as much as how they look. So this is Andy, and then under it is a heartworm test. If you're getting a puppy, you're not going to have one because they're going to be too young. So a puppy is not going to be able to be tested for heartworms until they're 6 months old. So they are going to be negative as long as they've been on heartworm prevention before they were 6 months old. So if you're getting a puppy, it's going to say too young, and we will have already started them on heartworm prevention, which you're going to continue with your vet when you see them, and they're going to get you set up with whatever type of heartworm prevention that you want to use. It doesn't make any difference what brand it is. Some people prefer different brands, whether it's a topical where you just put them on the back, or if it's an oral pill. Either way, it's okay. You and your vet are going to make that decision. They will have had vaccines. So if you have a puppy, you're going to have a series of vaccines. You're going to have several. Puppies receive a set of 4. So if you have 3 vaccines on your med sheet and you're getting a puppy, then you and your vet are going to be doing the 4th one. If you have an adult dog, they only get 2. So you will either have 1 or 2 on there. If you have 1, then you and your vet are going to schedule a time to do the booster vaccine when that's due. So they're also going to have a rabies if they're 4 months old or older. If they are under 4 months, if you're getting a puppy, you're not going to have a rabies vaccine because by law they have to be 4 months of age. And if they are 4 months of age or older, you are going to have a rabies certificate in here. And this certificate is going to have a tag on this on the certificate, and you can attach that to their collar. You want to make sure that you keep a copy of the certificate with you. You want to keep that. You want to keep a copy of everything, pretty much for the whole life of your dog. So if you can just set a folder up and keep copies, it will save you a lot of time if you move, lose your folders, change vets, anything like that. So just plan to do that. It takes us a long time to find our records, so we store our records off-site right now. Hopefully one day we'll have a better situation where we can have them all on the computer, but as for now, they're not on site, so it's really important for you to keep this information. It's pretty costly if you have to repeat all of this. So you want to keep this information. There's been a lot of vet work done to your dog, and it's, again, going to be pretty costly if you lose this information. So please keep that. Be mindful. Keep it in a good place. Take a picture. Store it on your computer. Scan it. Whatever. So you're also going to have a Bordetella vaccine. That's going to be the date over here they received Bordetella. Some people decide they want to do Bordetella every 6 months, sometimes every year. Some people don't do one if they go to, if they don't board a lot. So again, that's up to you and your vet. That your dog will have one when it leaves here, but how you decide to do that in the future is up to you and your vet. There's going to be quite a few dewormings probably. So again, our dogs come in, they have usually received no vet care, so we have to start the deworming process from the very beginning. So if you're getting an adult dog or a puppy, most of the times they are going to have parasites. That's a normal thing for a dog that is not kept on heartworm prevention or intestinal parasites. The heartworm prevention does most often contain deworming for intestinal parasites too. So once they have a negative fecal, then your heartworm prevention each month will keep up with that. However, again, they have probably come with parasites. They have been dewormed a couple of times here. Andy here has been with us a while, so she's had a series of 4 dewormings. However, that does not necessarily mean she is negative. We continue to deworm here on a regular basis just because the dogs coming in are bringing in new parasites. So we keep them on monthly preventatives and also actively deworm. And this is something that you should be willing to continue as far as your monthly prevention. However, once they're negative and they're out of an environment where they are constantly exposed to other parasites, you won't have to actively deworm them. Their heartworm prevention and their monthly preventatives will take care of that. However, you want to definitely ask for a fecal when you go to your vet just to confirm that everything is good and they are negative. And they very well may need a follow-up, so just be prepared for that. If they are clear, if there's a negative fecal, that's great. If they need a follow-up, that's not that big a deal to fix, so just be prepared again for that. So on our spay-neuter, most of our dogs come in, they have not been spayed and neutered, so they are spayed and neutered with us, and that date will be on here. If it has been with us, you're going to have a discharge sheet. Oh, come on now. So you're going to have a discharge sheet saying where your dog was spayed or neutered, as well as the discharge instructions. If you're picking it up within 7 to 10 days after being spayed and neutered, you want to be mindful to read over those directions and keep your pet quiet in a clean area, clean, dry area, and make sure they're eating, drinking, happy, doing well. And again, your vet will check with the incisions, make sure your follow-up vet that everything's going well. So our next thing is our flea prevention. Again, depending on how long your pet was here, there might be several different kinds of flea and tick preventative. It doesn't matter. You don't have to stay on the same one. You just have to stay on one that is recommended by your veterinarian. So you're going to want to make sure you do that. Some people choose to do the 8th month flea and tick Seresto collars. A lot of people love those. We have those available at the Saving Grace store, just down the street from Saving Grace. Or your veterinarian also has a lot of different options. They might have an oral pill or a topical that you do every month or every 3 months. So you can talk to them about what you want to do for that. And then also is heartworm prevention. You're going to want to make sure that you have heartworm prevention for every month for the life of your dog. And this is really important. Heartworms are really expensive to treat, and they are not fun for the dog. They're certainly a lot more side effects to go along with the heartworm treatment, and it's very preventable if you will just work with your veterinarian and make sure you have monthly preventatives to cover that. Some of our dogs are going to be heartworm positive. A good number of those adults, especially our older adults, are positive. And you and your veterinarian are going to work on a specific brand that is best for that, for seeing them through the heartworm treatment and their recovery from that. So either way, you're going to want to make sure you just get a heartworm prevention for once a month for the rest of your dog's life. If your dog has had any other type of antibiotics, procedure, anything like that, it's going to be below here in the other information and history. Andy here had doxycycline, which is fairly common. A lot of the dogs that come to us have been in a lot of shelters, rural shelters. Again, they've been around a lot of other dogs, and kennel cough is very common in a lot of the shelters that we work with. So you may be on doxycycline. You want to make sure that your dog is always eating, drinking well. If they are sneezing, if they aren't eating or drinking, if they're snotty and they're not doing well, if they seem lethargic, those are all reasons that you're going to want to talk to your veterinarian. So there's other things on here possibly as well. She had a mole removed on her nose, and that would be under here. She's also scheduled for heartworm treatment, and her heartworm treatment, she hasn't completed her heartworm treatment yet, but she's going to. So you're going to have your heartworm treatment dates under here as well. You want to make sure if you're getting a heartworm positive dog that you're prepared to keep your dog quiet, calm for about 6 weeks after its final treatment, during the treatments and after, which can be really challenging, especially for our younger dogs who might be heartworm positive. So it's good to get things like interactive games, maybe some fun toys. Kongs, chew bones are always really good options. Again, we have those things at the Saving Grace store if you want to get some of those. And unfortunately, heartworms is just kind of a pain to have to treat, but you can't not treat it. We have to do that. So you're also going to have a microchip tag and a card in here. This is your tag. This is your card. Every dog that leaves Saving Grace is going to be microchipped. We will scan them. We have a little wand. We scan them when they leave just to make sure that the tags match up, the numbers are good, the chip is working. It's a really good idea for you to do this with your vet as well when you get there for your wellness check, just to make sure. We always like to make sure the chip is working. We have a lot of dogs coming in and out of Saving Grace. We have a lot of great volunteers. There's a lot of people, and there are, times where you just want to confirm everything. So again, it's a good time when you get to your vet just to have them scan it, make sure your chip is working, make sure you have the right dog, the right paperwork. So we will register everything. Your information that was on your application, we're going to register for you to Home Again, to the microchip. It takes about a month to 6 weeks before it's registered from us to you. So you want to make sure that you keep an eye on that, make sure everything gets registered. When you get your confirmation, look over it, make sure all the numbers are right. Again, that has been passed through several people. It's registered. The information is submitted by us, and then once it gets to Home Again, that's registered there. Goes through a couple processes. So make sure your numbers are right, make sure information is right, your phone number, your address, all that sort of thing, your email, just in case you have a dog that gets away. Andy's probably not going to be that one, but if you get a dog that for some reason, you lose, gets away, whatever, it happens, you want to make sure when animal control or veterinarian, somebody finds it, they can scan the chip and your information comes up. It has to be your correct information, your right phone number, your email, all that sort of thing. So make sure that's right. Also, if you move, you must make sure that you change that. This is your responsibility. Nobody else is going to know that you moved. So if your dog ends up in a shelter or a veterinarian, you want to make sure that they can contact you. So make sure you keep up with that. The information is on this card on Home Again here. They have a great website. They're really responsive. You can always go on there and update it. Again, it's probably going to be 4 to 6 weeks before it switches from Saving Grace over to you. If something happens and you lose your dog in that time, please let us know, because we can always look up the information and do a quick registry, just in case if it does get out and something happens, and it happens. So let's see, you're gonna have your spay-neuter discharge information in here. Again, that's most important if you have had a pet that has been spayed and neutered in the last 7 to 10 days. You wanna make sure you go over this information and you follow those directions. Pretty much all your discharge information. We have a lot of information in here that can help you make sure to take care of everything so that, you know, nothing gets worse. If there is a spay complication or an incision complication, I should say, if there's an incision complication, then, you know, a lot of times in the course of antibiotics or just having that checked is not a big deal. Whereas if you leave it for a while to progress, it will progress into something worse. So we also have a coupon in here. This is a coupon for our Saving Grace store. We have a really great little store. It's about 2 miles from Saving Grace. It's open from 2 to 8 during the week when we're doing adoptions. So if you are running late and you don't end up finishing your adoption paperwork to 7:30, 7:45, it's fine. We can call down there. They're happy to wait for you. We have a couple of volunteers and they're always there. We have Michael who runs our store. He does an awesome job. He used to be one of our adoption coordinators and volunteers, so he knows all about the dogs here at Saving Grace and how to acclimate them to your home and your routine, a lot of what the foods we feed, kind of what our routine is here. There are several brands of food that we really like that are sold there. If you rather go to a Target or PetSmart, you can certainly do that. We recommend that you choose a food that has meat as the main ingredient. It doesn't necessarily need to be a grain-free food. We don't even really recommend a grain-free food. But if you want somebody who can work with you one-on-one and have a little bit more of a specialized experience, or you're new and you need some help with setting up your crate, choosing the collar size and all that sort of thing, then Michael's a great one to help you at the Saving Grace store. Again, that's just 2 miles from Saving Grace, and they are real familiar with our dogs, where they're from, what we feed here, and all that sort of thing. So we really appreciate you choosing Saving Grace, and we are here to help you. If you can email us, a lot of times that is the best way to communicate with us, because if you've been to Saving Grace, you can see our adoption counselors are everywhere all the time. It's really busy, it's loud, it's a hustle bustle place, so we try to return the emails in between. But we have all kinds of great resources we can help you with. If, again, I think the most important thing is to remember that your dog is acting normal, is eating and drinking well. A lot of times they do sleep well the first few days they're in your home. So if you get your dog home and it seems sleepy and it's snoozing a lot, it's okay. Being in a stressful environment, even though Saving Grace seems like a great place for dogs, and it is, it's just really stressful living in a group with a lot of dogs, a lot of volunteers. They haven't necessarily had a place that is comfortable and cozy to them. So they're getting to your home, it's quiet, it's probably super cozy and comfortable, and they may very well snuggle in and just nap for a couple days. You just want to make sure they're eating, drinking, doing okay everywhere else. Make sure if you have diarrhea, you get that addressed. Well, there's going to be a lot of changes of food, so it's not, you know, an emergency sometimes, but if they are eating and drinking and acting otherwise normally, it's probably okay, but always best to check with your veterinarian on that. So again, we really appreciate you choosing Saving Grace. You can always email us, savinggrace@savinggracenc.org. You can always email us there, or adoptions@savinggracenc.org. And we will be happy to help you. Your adoption counselor is going to go over all of this again for you, but again, it's a really busy time when you're picking up, and this is something you can refer back to. All right, thank you for choosing Saving Grace, and thank you for adopting. We have so many great dogs out there that need homes, and we really appreciate that you've taken the time to invest in Saving Grace and adoption and found a great dog for you. Right, Andy? Yours might have more personality than her.